This morning, we are so privileged, the privilege to have the Publicity Secretary of the African Action Congress, AAC. Of course, the AAC is one of the political parties that are going to be, that are in EDO 2024, and they also have their candidates. But this morning, we have the Publicity Secretary of AAC, African Action Congress, Stanley Atafo. You're welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So in the next couple of minutes, we're going to be looking at your party vis-a-vis the election, the forthcoming election. The election is going to be on the 21st of September, just about days away. So how prepared is your party?
Well, absolutely. My party is totally and enthusiastic and very ready. We are putting all the machineries on ground. We have the best candidate, as a matter of fact. I am well aware, Dr. Udoh.
Let us be mindful with the word best, because some other candidates...
Relativity comes into play. Yeah. I can't say yours is better than mine. So if you look at what it entails for me to showcase my property, which is exactly my political party as it stands this very just now, it means I know my party very well. I am very grounded by all the ground arrangement, the futuristic arrangement, and as a matter of fact, comparing my candidate and others, is very clear that my candidate has all the wherewithal. I'll give you an example. For example, on the first of this month, we all came up to clamor for food. So far, so good. Not even the commissioner for Agric has come up to give you a blueprint and give you to explain why a cup of gari now still sell for 250 naira, which means there is nothing there on ground to showcase that there's any kind of investment on behalf of the people in that department. That's gross failure. On the grounds of my political party, my candidate has a very robust, energized ideology on how to solve this problem. It's just that we do not have the platform just yet, but then we do have the plan. How do we intend to do this? Under Dr. Udoh, our gubernatorial candidate, we have a structured plan where we can raise at least 7 billion naira in the first year in office to liaise with Bank of Agric. Now with Bank of Agric on ground, which means the monetary component of solving food problem will be solved, while the technical components of solving the entire problem will be from the Edo State Agric Department. Those are the technicians. These are individuals who were employed ab initio because of their qualification and training in agriculture. We don't even need the commissioner of Agric in Edo to liaise. He's just he's just an individual who is supposed to just be whispering to the ears of the governor about the activities and the needs of the people. Now, what my candidate has on ground is very clear. Dr. Udoh has a structured plan, not just in agriculture, even in tourism. These are areas where we can generate funds for Edo. Because Edo is in focus right now. We're not talking at the national level, we're talking about Edo. Now, at this very just now, what we have at the level of health clearly indicates that it supersedes what's on ground. We'll look at it, for example, this outgoing government, which is just about like 3 months left over.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yes. Now, what we have on ground now, if you remember very well, it is the people's money that was used to build Central Hospital. The question is, how much does it cost for healthcare under this administration? You can't use the people's money and then you still charge them exorbitantly. Under my gubernatorial candidate, Dr. Udoh, we have a structured plan where the people could come first. And besides, we're going to replicate what you have in Central Hospital in the 3 senatorials. Because it's not just like everybody from Edo Central or Edo South will now must come down to Edo, Benin City, for example, because of health issues. What you have there, from the beginning, from the crown of it, from the building top to its foundation, will be replicated. If you look at Technical College, for example, I dare to ask, we have two modular, allegedly, of course, Edo State is said to own 2 modular refinery. Question: how many individuals were employed at the level of Edo Technical College? What's that school for?
Okay, now let's go back to the area of agriculture that you talked about. That was where you started from. Now, oftentimes, the problem we've always had in that direction is that government comes on board. Of course, they roll out loans to be given to farmers. But the problem is those loans don't get to the target farmers. They get to political, members and all that. So how do you tend to handle that?
That again indicates the gross failure endowed with this administration.
Well,
because
we're
talking about activities comparative now. We're talking we're talking about Edo now.
Yeah.
Because
I said government, so I didn't restrict it to this administration.
I want to also believe that Edo has a government.
Okay.
Based on that term, government. who is supposed to be a servant to the people. At the level of agriculture, what was the plan? Like this money I read on the papers that they do is bringing out 450, just signed 450 billion naira supplementary budget. What is it for? What is it for? In agriculture, for example, like I said, there are 3 components that normally in every business must exist. The monetary component, the technical components, and also the managerial component. Now, if Edo State was really serious about especially SME farmers in Edo, I expect the banking structure that's already on ground, like the Bank of Agric, for example, is stationed in Edo. Now, why not give them the money and allow them liaise with the farmers? While the technical component, that is the know-how from the Ministry of Agric. Because every individual in the Ministry of Agric were employed simply because they had the pre-knowledge, educational knowledge of how to handle agricultural issues. So why not employ these individuals? Why do you now give handouts under the guise of agriculture loan to individuals, political people who do not have farms? Now, if you have a farm, if I have a farm, like I do have a farm, and you give the money to Bank of Agric, like say 7 billion naira, as Dr. Udoh has structured in his agenda. If you leave 7 billion naira in Bank of Agric, they won't give it to me because I'm a political giant or I belong to a political party. It will be based on what I have on ground and my interest. And before you assess, I must show proof. When I show proof, then the Ministry of Agric will also come to check, because they are the technical components. They will come to check what I have on ground. Is this viable? Is this attainable? Then before you now release the fund. Okay. Now, how has this administration been giving out the fund in the first instance? Which means just by virtue of who I know and how I know who I know. And that's exactly what we're having problems with. Okay, 450 billion naira that's just been budgeted, passed to law, this very just now. Question is, what is it for?
Well, those in government...
we have the right. That is why Chapter 4 still clearly indicates that you have a right in the Nigerian Constitution. It is a right to ask.
Are you saying that you want to have a supplementary budget? Is that what
okay, if you're having it, what are you having it for? We have a legislative house. What is that duty? That duty is for them to approve. Now, the executive can think. Nothing stops you. The law says as an executive, you can think. You can plan.
When you ask the question, what is it used for? Are you trying to say that the state government just passed it?
Of course, that's what it indicates. Because what I saw on the line, what I read about, is that it's been passed. What was it passed for?
Yeah, it's a budget. For the fact that it's a budget, it shows that there is something it's going for.
Don't forget, there was a budget. This is an addition.
Of course, a
good. Now, what happened to the first one? What did you do in agriculture? Don't forget, just this not too long ago, August 1st, the people came out and they complained. They said, we're hungry. For the first time, because the common man on the street was hungry, because of that, the police were kitted.
Now, has your party approached the state government to ask questions?
You should know that the government of today is not accessible.
The government of today is not accessible?
Yes.
It's
not accessible to oppositions like us. Because what we have on ground is enough to remove them from office. What we have on ground is enough as
let us even leave the opposition factor now. As an Edo person, are you saying that the government of the day is not accessible to you?
If it was, I don't think I'll be in another political party. Because this is the only this government is the only political party, is the only government that has indicated that 2 political parties are endowed with failure. For example, the first 4 years of this administration was in APC. True or false? Is Republican. Then the second 4 years, 40 years, rather, the second end part of this administration is in PDP, which indicates, which is a clear indication that the forces or the ideology endowed in these 2 political parties cannot solve our problem. So it's not just the individual; it's also about the political vehicle by which governance is being delivered. Therefore, give African Action Congress the opportunity. I guarantee you, what you will see will be different.
Okay. Now, what is your strength? When I say your strength now, I don't think if you have a member in the National Assembly, I don't also think that you have a member in the State House of Assembly, and also I don't even think that you have a state governor. So politics, whether you like it or not, it's all strength, political support and all
exactly.
that. So that was why I asked a while ago that how prepared are you for this election? So knowing this as a fact, do you see yourself strong enough for this election?
Oh yes, as a matter of fact. They say change is desirable if it makes some people better off without making others worse off. Pareto optimality is rule number 2. Now, let me make it very clear. At the time, we only had Action Congress in one state, and that was in Lagos State. But today, we have the government at the center from that political party haven't evolved through some changes. But it's the actors are still the same. You understand? We're starting from EDO. That's what it is. We're creating the awareness for the people, the common man especially, to understand their need for change. Because of the astute failure being registered in all other political parties, in government, we have decided to come up. That's where we are. On the table, African Action Congress has the best candidate, Dr. Udoh, who has the best ideology.
Let us be mindful of the word best now, because...
like I said earlier on, it's relativity.
Yeah.
If I say good morning, it could be good night to somebody else. So that is how relative is it to you. And I tell you how my party is prepared for. My candidate is, as a matter of fact, the best. Because I haven't assessed, like I said earlier on.
I want to let us be careful, because the election has not been done. So it is only when the election has been done.
Exactly, that's why I'm here. Because by the time
the word best, I think we
can. It's relative.
Yeah, it's relative.
I have not broken any law.
For the purpose of this discourse, the only way we can actually know that this is the best candidate now is at the end of the election.
That's Dr. Udoh, under African Action Congress.
Yeah, you hear me out now? At the end of the day, the electorates are going to pick who suit them best. So that is where we now know that.
That's why we have. That's why we have manifestos.
All the candidates in all the political parties now, this is the best. So that's why I said let us be mindful of the word best. But the question I also want to ask you, it's what is the response of EDO electorate? So your campaigns, you know, other political parties are campaigning. I don't want to say that
on that platform, I'll tell you it's tremendous.
Okay.
If judging by what I have assessed, it's tremendous, because when we speak to them and begin to analyze the issues on ground, by virtue of putting what is attainable, what is tangible about what governance in terms of failure looks like, because unlike up until August 1st, nobody knew that hunger could bring us out, because hunger now has a color, hunger now has a force. Hunger among the common man on the street could actually make the government of the day to erect a structure at King Square just to accommodate people who are hungry and angry, which means we have a structure, we have a plan. We have elaborated to the common man on the street, told them exactly what we are going to do. This is your problem. This is why you are suffering. Because I was coming from Uromi yesterday night, and my co-travelers were unknown to me. They were all complaining. The cost of now a wheelbarrow of cassava is so expensive. I was like, so these people still buy cassava? Because I am a farmer myself. And somebody was saying she bought a wheelbarrow, half a wheelbarrow for 30,000 naira. And I'm like, oh wow, wonderful. You see, what hunger had done has created awareness. The person I was speaking was, I later got to understand that she's a retiree. And then she was like, she resorted to self-help, because she can't afford to go to the open market to get these commodities. Okay. Now, towards the end, I'm like, okay, what's the problem of all of this? And when I presented few of these ideologies that my candidate has alongside my party, she was amazed. I'm like, okay, what party is this? And I said, okay, African Action Congress. And she said, okay, she will look up to it. So you see, when given the opportunity, and every single opportunity we have, that we have been able to use it to express what the problem is at the grassroots. You understand? So when we begin to tell them, and like I said, the response I get from them is tremendous. Yeah. So if given the opportunity, and that's why we are here, appealing to the common man on the street to give us the opportunity to lead, to show what we are down with, what we are made up of. So these coming elections, I speak to you, to the conscience of the common man on the street, kindly look out for African Action Congress, AAC. We have the best candidate, and we are indeed going to transform EDO if you donate your vote to us. We will make everything perfectly well for us, especially at the agricultural level.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just quickly expect that you round up now. Now, you've talked about healthcare. You've talked about agriculture, of which you started with, and also you seem to be more concerned with the poverty,
exactly,
the hardship.
Exactly.
You talked about the protests and all that. So in order for all this now, what would you want to say is the underlining statement, the underlining word, your policy statement, if you like, now, as it relates to your manifesto?
Humanity comes first. That's exactly what it is. Humanity must come first. If you're not alive, you won't be here. And if you don't eat, you will not have enough strength to be here. I guarantee you should be in the hospital if there is no food. And the watchword and the password with African Action Congress is that humanity must come first. Every single individual must have access, first and foremost, to food, and thereafter to education. Because these two, whether you like it or not, they work together. You can't go to school without eating, without food. If your parents can't afford to eat, they can't afford to take care of you. So that's exactly what Dr. Udoh stands for. Humanity first. An African Action Congress is a party grassly rooted in every facet of our economy. Give us the opportunity, that's what we're asking. Okay. Give us the chance, give us your vote, donate your vote for us. And then apply chapter 2 and chapter 4 and use it to checkmate our administration. I guarantee you are going to see an astute difference, because we have suffered enough, we have had enough from our government. Like I said, this government has showcased on a platter of gold. First 4 years was APC. What was the output in agriculture? Then the second 4 years, that's the final leg, is PDP, which clearly indicates that both parties, if put together or individually, is going to be a grand failure.
Yeah, but these two parties, whether you like it or not, they have something that people.
What is the result? At least for the first time in the history of Nigeria, because of hunger, we came up August 1st. Not just very long ago. We came up because of hunger. So what was their input in that direction? Is it electricity? Is it pipe bomb water? What do you have? Is it Gelegele seaports? What do you have? We have a shambled education system. Go to your village, I guarantee you. Go to your village, you will not have science teachers in your secondary school. Your very village. I'm not talking about my own, because mine is worse off. You don't have teachers yet $75 million was borrowed in that direction. Yeah, Where is it?
Yeah, you hold it now. I was going to tell you that you talked about the APC, you also talked about the PDP.
Exactly.
Now, these two political parties that have ruled in Edo State, whether we like it or not, there are achievements that they have made.
List them. Hunger came up on first.
You hold on. People are going to see those achievements. But for your own party, you're just coming on board. You cannot really pinpoint to one achievement that you've made.
Well, like I said, opportunity comes, they say, but once. The fact that the failure is glaring even to the deaf and to the blind make us come up.
Okay.
All right, we have come to replace all of this with success. Okay. Based on this, like I said, give us the opportunity. We guarantee we are going to effect changes. We are made up of men who are deep thinkers. We have come up with this structure to look at it and say, this is Edo, is our home. I have no other town. I have no other state. I can't live here and go and live in somebody else's
All right,
village.
so I'll just give you 30 seconds to wrap it up your points this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for you. We are your servants. We appeal to you to kindly give us your votes this time around. Look at it this way. PDP has failed you. APC has failed you. Try African Action Congress. Dr. Udoh is the man who can transform. He has the blueprint. He's a young man. He's an SME developer. He's a man who has walked the length and breadth of Nigeria. He knows what it takes to take care of agriculture, especially hunger. So give us your vote these upcoming elections. Try us. Don't forget, Lagos State was the only state that had its Action Congress back then. But today at the center, because the people saw the difference and they took the risk to donate their time till we were suffering. But please give us your vote. We guarantee you that you will not suffer, because we have the blueprint, we have the charisma, we have the youth, we have the people, and we have the materials to make things better for Edo State, especially. Give us your vote this coming elections. Okay. We guarantee you we will not fail you. We have the capacity, like I said earlier on. We will not fail you. We will transform Edo. In terms of agriculture, we have a blueprint. Every household will have something to produce, especially at the village level. We guarantee you that households in Benin City, yes, everybody in Benin City has one borehole or the other. These privileges are not attainable in our villages, but the government of African Action Congress will face the villages and give us pipe bomb water there. Okay. But that's where it's most needed. Most needed, because there are no rivers there.
All right, so we want to say a very big thank you. I want to say a very big thank you, Stanley Atafo. Who is
Atafo, please. Is Atafo?
Atafo.
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 Yes, exactly. A-T-A-F-O-H. Yes.
Atafo.
Yes, Atafo.
All right. So, you are the publicity secretary of the African Action Congress, AAC,
yes.
Edo State chapter, and is one of the political parties that is going to be is already feeding
very ready
now, for this forthcoming election. So, I want to say thank you one more time.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
Thank you very much.